someone just brought up a good point here, and it's about fun, right? You've heard me say that a million times. Nothing new. But I was, who was that I saw a tweet not too long ago, and I know they were referencing like the cultural war that whether you want to be a part of it, it's there, and it's taking place as more people realize that that's where the battle is to be fought. Politics, as Breitbart even understood, that's on the downstream. You change the culture, the politics change sort of by the default. But I think what people want, and I'm right there with them on this, they want a world that it's kind of a return of normalcy, and it's about fun. Right now in entertainment, we're talking about a lot of things that have little to do with fun. It's become a lot more reactionary, and I'm not absolved of any of this for sure. And I have a video that I'm having prepared very, very soon where I discuss kind of one of these key things. I don't want to give it away, but there's a key thing that I think people lose sight of that just really fundamentally changed how the world kind of consumes entertainment and how it approaches entertainment. That video will be out there soon enough. But I'm right there with everybody. And that is that you want to return to fun where most of the things that you're talking about have to do with positive stuff, right? And when I say positive, I don't mean that it's without like arguing. I don't think that it means without like there being conflict there. Because there was once upon a time where nerd culture was known for arguing about things that maybe outsiders that don't understand it find rather insignificant. That was the fun of it all. So that still is going to be a part of it. I would say that's a mainstay. But you want the overall like conversation to be had, and I think even the folks that are on my side on a lot of these issues, we agree on this. We've talked about this. Where, man, wouldn't it be awesome to where most of the things that we're talking about is in a more positive light. You're being satisfied as a customer to whatever nerd culture thing, whatever it is that you gravitate towards. And I'm trying to, and I've got better, and I can only improve there. Trying to facilitate that with the Rippaverse, right? As we entered into this new year, I changed a lot. I changed a lot about my behavior. I changed a lot about how I approach, things. And I can't control other folks for sure, but I can control my own actions. And my goal is to facilitate a fun sandbox. This is why we went back to the drawing board with what we're going to be doing with our website. And the big revamp relaunch that we're going to have going into June. A lot of that it's centered around trying to make it a more interactive site so that, when people visit it, fans and whatnot are visiting it, yes, they can get the information. Yes, they can purchase new things. But really what we really want to be facilitating is a fun fandom, one that isn't hostile because we're not pleasing them, right? We want to make sure that they're satisfied with their purchases. So it's about that interactivity, okay? And we're trying to find these creative ways to again, not just facilitate that, but encourage that interactivity, because ultimately it's about fun. Now, I don't think there's a substitution for work. There is no such thing. We have to publish. We have to put out more books. They have to be solid. We continue to expand with what we're doing with Reverse Studios. That has to keep happening. So, one can make an argument that that's where it starts, right? I have to give you something to support, okay? So we're working on that. We're going to continue. Our release schedule is speeding up. You guys know that. It's already sped up, but it's going to speed up even more this year because I want you to have fun. And I think other people want to have fun. I think with not even just that, I think that because how YouTube algorithms work, oftentimes it does tend to lend itself. Well, you seem to gain a lot more ground, which is why people gravitate towards that type of content. You gain a lot more ground if you are being a negative Nancy, especially if you're going around trying to pick fights with other people. That's encouraged by that. But ultimately, that's not something that lasts. And you can already see that people are burnt out on on just not having fun, right? It's like, oh man, I got to talk about this goofy thing that happened in the comic books, or I got to talk about this goofy thing that happened in this movie that's based on a comic book or based on something it is that I enjoy, because that's now the driver of the conversation. Right there with you, I empathize and understand where the customers are coming from, because you tolerate it to a degree, and it's not something that you don't talk about, because a lot of that stuff, especially pertaining to culture, is important, right? So whether you want to ignore it or not is irrelevant. So when someone, a company, let's say, has been infiltrated, and now they're actively trying to use and bastardize these properties that you guys grew up, it's something worth talking about, okay? I think it's important, especially if you want to understand the strategy of these people that are doing this to demoralize you, or to change, let's say, these other generations. I totally understand that. So you have to talk about that, and it is important. But it shouldn't be the driver of conversation, and I don't think it has to be, as more alternatives start to pop up and people get start taking this seriously. Okay, and actually providing that alternative, and the customers decide that that's something that they want to gravitate towards and get lost in that world and build a fandom out of that. I'm right there with everybody that has that position. It's like, bro, this is getting a little exhausting. Let's have fun. And that's why I've changed my behavior. That's why I'm constantly trying to improve there. And that's why 99% in terms of my attention, work, is towards the Rippaverse. We stream a lot less for that reason, because there's work to be done. We're going to get there. It may take a little time, because a lot has happened in the last decade, but I do believe it's going to get there. I don't think it'll be funneled through the mainstream, but I do believe that we are eventually going to get there. That's my position on that.